Cameramen with the 8th Army, amplifying their film dispatches from the Western Desert, have now compiled a vivid account of the advance from Alamein to Tobruk. Heavy rain fell after the breakthrough, but desert floods weren't bad enough to hold up the pursuit of Rommel. Rommel's brilliant advance in the direction of Tripoli was closely followed by Montgomery's men, who kept up a record pace right on his heels. Allied airmen, too, made sure that the retreating Germans learnt a lesson they won't forget in their hurry. Mitchell's and Baltimore's were on the job, and a newsreel cameraman with them. He had the pleasure of recording the end of at least one Nazi fighter rash enough to attack the formation. Just another plane to add to the collection. The Luftwaffe's losses in the air and on the ground have already been counted in hundreds. Often enough, aircraft which we destroyed on the ground hadn't even been dispersed. Salvage collectors in these parts have certainly got a man-sized job. There's enough stuff here to knock the bottom right out of the scrap market. But salvage isn't exactly the whole story. There's the matter of the advance itself. And we all know what a great job of work was done by the infantry. The infantry have been right in the picture during this advance, although it was a mechanized cavalry unit that captured the most notable prisoner quite early on. For General Fontoma, commander of the Africa Corps, was taken by the Hus. He'd been stooging around in his tank, but the tank was knocked out, and there he was, in General Montgomery's bag. Looks fed up, so he should be. Off, or maybe he always looks like that. The Africa Corps' signposts always look like this. The best thing to do is just follow your nose. Certainly the scent was strong, for the 8th Army pushed ahead to all the old familiar places at a speed that beats all previous records. El Daba was taken almost in the first rush. It's only a little place along the coast road, but it has an airfield which came in useful as the advance continued. And at a beach nearby, the Navy landed supplies of fuel for our tanks and trucks. Mercer Matruh. This is where Wavell started his push. And in spite of all the fighting since then, Matruh's still there, though the various places of entertainment are closed for the time being. And shopping facilities are not all they appear to be. Sidi Barrani, getting near the frontier of Cyrenaica now. You may remember there was some speculation at home as to whether Rommel might try and make a stand on the high ground near Saloum. But he'd been far too badly smashed up. He and the remnants of his army were still going hell for leather as our columns wound their way over Hellfire Pass. So, into Cyrenaica once more, and on to Bardia. These places no longer mean much more than milestones on the route to Benghazi, but the amazing thing was the speed of the advance. Not so much the speed of vehicles along the road, but the faultless organization of supplies that made the advance a non-stop event. Tobruk, scene of that heroic siege and that heartbreaking reverse when Rommel was really advancing. Tobruk's pretty well smashed up, as you see, and there weren't many people to be found there. Filthy pictures aren't much good to a hungry cat, so it was lucky the 8th Army moved in when it did. All this time, all the way back from Tobruk to Egypt, prisoners were being taken wholesale. They wandered around and gave themselves up and trudged along the prisoners' road towards Cairo. Well, they were always determined to get there. There were Germans and Italians, mostly Italians here though, because the Germans were busy going west. They hadn't even time to take their Axis comrades with them. Prisoners by the tens of thousands, with or without escort. And when they did have the luck to find a guide, such as that single armored car, they followed like sheep.